Another day of early dismissals at schools around the state. It's all about safety, considering that so many of the older buildings don't have air conditioning. News 8's Kim Pierce live in New Haven with more on how this dangerous weather can be especially tough on younger people. Good afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon to you, Keith. And it is the age extremes most vulnerable to the heat, according to a doctor I spoke to this morning at Yale New Haven Hospital. The young and the old, in that young part, that is why dozens of school districts have decided to dismiss early again today. And it's why Derby's school district decided to close entirely today. Derby schools closed while many others announced early dismissals. It's mainly for the safety of the kids. At Yale New Haven Hospital, they see the dangers of the heat.
We're certainly seeing more patients in the emergency department, particularly those who are extremes of age.
That means the youngest students are the most vulnerable.
It was very hot. We had one window open. That's it.
It comes as a shock because it's not usually this hot this late in the summer when vacations are over and everyone is back in school.
We allow kids to bring water bottles to school. We allow them to go to the water fountains, but we see them and we watch them just get drained and wilted as the day goes on.
Educators need to watch out for the signs that kids or adults are getting overheated.
You want to look out for headache, dizziness, lightheadedness, anything that makes you feel somewhat out of the ordinary.
And the beginning of the school year means practice for fall sports during the hottest time of the day.
Probably not a good idea. If you can avoid physical activity or exertion outside, then avoid it. I would, if you have to be out, then certainly stay hydrated. I would drink double what you would normally drink.
That bears repeating. Remember, drink double what you would normally drink, double the water if you're going to be outside in the heat of the day exerting yourself today. And remember also what he said about the age extremes being most vulnerable. So if you have elderly relatives or neighbors, check in on them, make sure their air conditioning is working on a day like today. Live in New Haven, I'm Ken Pierce.